All right, welcome to Dual Redundancy, the only podcast where you can hear all latest in television and entertainment news with too many hosts with exactly the same opinions. I'm one of those hosts, David Allen, and another one is
John Berwick, and the third one is
Kyle Bridger. I would say that I am the Herbert to John's Hazel to Dave's Byron Gogol, because he runs this ship.
Oh, ship. I was making sure you said that and not the other thing here. We'd have to do an early bleep on you. Yeah.
like I did.
Gogol, right? How can they say that? We're going to talk about it. How can that's pretty clear what they're alluding to on Made for Love.
This is wild.
It's clearly Amazon, right?
Well, yeah, but no, this is wild though. I know somebody with the last name Gogol. Yeah.
Yeah, just switch a letter around and their bank account much different.
Yeah.
We will talk about Made for Love, and then we have another HBO series, and that is Mare of Easttown. One kind of more lighter than the other, but still kind of dark for both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Both new shows, a lot to get into tonight. But we have this first segment, and John, what is it?
In and out points.
In, order out. In, order out. In, out.
Yes, it is. It is in and out points. We're talking about two new shows tonight, and all of our in and out points are about new and upcoming shows. Just happen to work like that. All new series coming at some point. And this first one's taking its darn time. That's for sure. We spoke about this Amazon series numerous times since episode 185. That was November of 2017. We first talked about this. And it is the Lord of the Rings Amazon series. Most recently, we discussed the series in episode 313. And we discussed how they have a crew member assigned to watching how the dust settles on the set. So they make sure that the dust is accurate and how it moves on the set. Well, with a job like that may explain the price tag on the series. According to the Hollywood Reporter, Amazon will spend roughly $465 million for just the first season of the show. One season, about $500 million. Kyle, you sent me this article. What do you think about this price tag on this Amazon series? Do you think it will be worth it?
$500 million on something that we won't even know the gross of what it will make, right? There's no like box office numbers. I mean, I guess you get the TV ratings, but you don't know the direct turnout of those TV ratings. So it's just like, this is a massive chunk of change. But then again, Jeff Bezos is worth what? A badillion dollars. So
that sounds correct. Yeah, that number sounds
correct.
So
it doesn't even like matter. This is just like play money to him. So yeah, it's pretty wild. I mean, we could see depending on the time length of the do we know how many episodes?
Nope.
So, I mean, if this is like 10 episodes, then, and they were trying to keep up with the budget of, say, Peter Jackson title, I mean, it's got to be around that scope, you know, and even more so.
Yeah, I looked up the price of the original 3 films that Peter Jackson directed, and this is not adjusted for inflation. So in the 20 years, these numbers probably changed. But for all 3, I think it cost $281 million.
Oh my God!
According to Box Office Mojo, the budget was $281 million for those 3 films.
For all of them. No way.
I'm going to double check because that does seem low, especially compared to.
I don't believe that.
Does this make this the highest, like, production value, like TV show ever? Like it's got to set some kind of record, no?
Gotta imagine.
I mean, I think it has to be up there. Originally, when they first announced this, it already had a huge price tag, a record-breaking 500 million. But that was supposed to be for multiple seasons. This is about $500 million for one season. And yeah, I'm on. I mean, Wikipedia, but they're sourcing Box Office Mojo, New York Times, with these numbers. But the budget for the 3 films, not adjusted for inflation, $281 million. Each one was about 94 million each back in the day.
That's crazy when you think that some like Marvel movies are now being made for $200 million alone, right? So, yeah, that's pretty wild to think about. I mean, if they get 10 to 13 episodes out of that, maybe it's worth it, but I just don't know how you can make up that money through TV when you don't know what it's going to bring in. This is them gambling that it's the next like Game of Thrones or something like that. Right?
Yeah.
Or like a Harry Potter.
That's what they're hoping. That's what they're hoping for sure. And even Game of Thrones, the budget increased as it went on. They didn't have dragons in the first season. It took time to build up to that budget when it became a huge hit. You know, Game of Thrones, that like I think towards the end, the final season, which was whatever, like 6 episodes, I think it was 100 million to produce a season.
Wow.
This is 465 million for one season. So this is a huge difference. Music does bring up that the original films, I believe they filmed like all of them at the same time, or at least back to back. So they did like that. So I'm sure that helped with production costs. I know a lot of films will do like, I think they did Infinity War and Endgame at the same time to kind of Back to the Future 2 and 3. So
that does make sense.
But yeah, the figures were released as part of New Zealand's Official Information Act. It also mentions how the studio plans to potentially film 5 seasons and some unannounced spinoffs. So I don't know what Lord of the Rings series, how many sets will be the same, how many costumes will be the same. So maybe it's a lot of startup cost, you know, in this first season. But is it going to be 500 million for each of these 5 seasons? Like, God, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you're pumping that much cash into it, you gotta assume, like you said, it's like building a world. Now we better have like 8 seasons of this thing, or
I wonder if it's partially also potentially a loss leader to get people into Prime too. I mean, that's a huge loss leader, but you know what I mean? Like just having something beefy to have in their library. Who knows?
Yeah, I think I did see something. I wish I had the stats in front of me. I believe it was like on the Hollywood Reporter podcast, and they were saying how, like, you know, obviously Amazon's like main thing. Many people don't even use Prime Video. It's for the shipping. That's what they're using Prime for, is the shipping. So like, I got Maisel. Okay, yeah, maybe I'll watch an episode. Maybe, I don't know. But it's just like, this is like a lot just for something like a side project. So yeah, they're really banking on this, drawing people to Amazon and Prime Video. But John, you had something that you saw about Lord of the Rings that they canceled.
Yeah, at the same time that they're pumping $500 million into this, Amazon pretty quietly killed off their Lord of the Rings MMO that they'd been working on for many years at this point, which is kind of sad to see because I know a lot of people are looking forward to that, but it just feels weird that you would be willing to push this much money into a TV show, and yet it doesn't usually cost that much to make a game, you know? Like, I don't know. It seems a little bit weird, you know?
Yeah, it depends, I guess, how long they've been working on that game, because they've been working on this since, as we mentioned, like 2017, rewrites. They'll cast it. They'll have new casting people because it's taking so long. So maybe it's like they had an idea for this game. Now this series is wildly different. Maybe they're going to try to reskin the game to be more closer to the series. I don't know. But
I don't know. But I mean, Lord of the Rings makes for like a perfect MMO type game. So it seems like it would just, seems like you would have the ability to ship that out along with the series, but it doesn't make sense to me, but whatever.
Oh, it's gone. Goodbye.
All right. Whenever this series comes out, I'm sure we'll talk about it whenever that is. Episode 465, maybe, for the amount of money that they're spending on this. All right. Our next news show, while Amazon has Lord of the Rings, Peacock, that streaming service, has something else to compete with. Frogger. The streamer is developing a live-action competition series based on the classic arcade game about a frog that just wants to cross the street without getting run over. Either of you guys familiar with Frogger? You guys play Frogger?
I know
Kyle?
Yeah.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
Classic for sure.
Is it going to be the next big live-action competition series?
Only if they pour $500 million into it.
Oh, yeah, that's what the...
I was going in a totally different route. I was going to say only if they actually run people over with it.
First, you bring up Harrison Ford in the planes last week, and now we're doing the cars running over people. Kyle, what are you doing? Yeah, I'm very curious. Like, are they going to have the people dress up as frogs in these green jumpsuits?
Yeah.
What kind of cars are these? Like, obviously, you're not going to be real cars. Is it go-karts? Is it fake styrofoam?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Well, it kind of feels like it could be one of those Japanese type shows where they have like where they have like you could do something like that, which would be Frogger related, I guess.
Yeah, because it's definitely like I can envision this pretty much as like Wipeout.
Yeah,
like it's gonna be like that, where it's like some big obstacle course.
Yeah,
they're gonna be running through, but supposedly it will feature 12 obstacle courses known as crossings, and it will require contestants to, quote, dodge treacherous traffic, leap over snapping gators, and hop over hungry hippos. And according to the official release, contestants will need skill, strength, strategy, and problem solving to compete to become America's finest Frogger.
See, I always think with these things, it's like it brings back that nostalgic factor. Like I could maybe tune in for a night or two.
Yeah.
But
long term,
what do you think the long term goal is? Like people are going to be like, I gotta watch my Frogger, like it's the next Jeopardy. I don't think so. Is it just like we're going to hit on that early success and then be done with it? Because I can guarantee you the name Frogger and that description might get me to watch once, maybe twice, and then I'm done. I don't need to see it anymore. So I don't know who.
I'll watch a clip reel on Twitter the next day of the falls and this and that. But yeah, like I feel like it's one of those things. Once you've seen one episode, you kind of probably saw them all, didn't you?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't see it, and yeah, I think it'll start big, but then fizzle out. Besides, we already know who America's Finest Frogger is. I don't know if you've made it up to this point, Kyle, in your Seinfeld rewatch, but it's George Costanza. There is a classic episode, I think season 9, The Frogger, where he has to cross the street with the Frogger video game console, and it kind of is pretty much going through the system here. He got the high score back in the day. Can he do it in real life? If this isn't hosted by Jason Alexander, man, we really screwed up. But
I know. He probably needs a job too.
But I mean, he's at least on somebody's radar. They made that sweatshirt on him for the Super Bowl. He got that Super Bowl bump. But Kyle, if you are interested in this, you can actually apply right now to be on the Frogger TV show.
Dude,
Froggercasting.com.
Sign me up. Everything I just said about Frogger, this thing's going to last for decades. And have me on, please.
Yeah. Peacock has at least ordered 13 hour-long episodes, so maybe we'll see Kyle on one of those episodes. We can wait and see.
I just know, Dave, that when we watch this for the first time for this podcast coming up, one of my complaints, and you can play it back now or play it back then, is that it's going to be like The Masked Singer, where it's like we're like doing fluff all the way to like minute 9:58, and you're like zooming in. It's just like, just tell us if he fell or not.
Yeah, it's gonna be like there's gonna be like only 2 obstacle courses in 1 hour long episode, and we're gonna have to sit through like their backstory.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, it's just who cares?
Frogger used to be my traumatic experience, and now I'm taking it back.
All right. Well, Kyle might be on Frogger, and let's stay in the 90s. And I have a show for John. Meatloaf, the singer Meatloaf, is working on something along with the people behind Nailed It, he's developing a relationship competition series based off his 1993 hit, I Do Anything for Love, but I Won't Do That.
What is this? Like, you're competing to go out with somebody, and it's like, what was that old show where they had to do gross things?
Fear Factor.
Yeah, it was like Fear Factor, where it's like you just have to like do tasks to go out with like some model, and if you don't want to do it, you're out. Like, what is the premise of this?
I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. No way. I think we broke Kyle. I think Kyle's done for the night.
Just because I've envisioned this thing of like the Bachelor Rose ceremony at the end, and the people being like, well, do you like him? And he's like, well, I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. And then it just like
it
cuts
takes the
to
rose
like,
away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so stupid.
Well, we're
Well,
trying to get a date with Meatloaf.
flavor of love, but this flavor
Rock
is
of
meatloaf.
love, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh
God.
You got it now. You got it. So the couples will compete in a variety of comedic physical games designed to reveal how well they can work together and how much they can really trust and believe in each other, all to a soundtrack of classic hits performed live in studio by the original artists as well as new stars. So it doesn't seem like it's like a dating show. It seems actually like these couples are working together on different activities, physical games, and I don't know, like, yeah, it's like, is it like a Fear Factor thing? It's like, oh, like, I don't understand how this really will test the relationship and doing anything for love. I think the idea we had about it being a dating show would be better
Yeah.
than couples working together.
You gotta feed your partner a spider.
Yeah.
Well,
But then even
won't
it's
do
like,
that.
well, yeah, it's like, I won't do that. And like, because there's no stakes with that. So maybe they won't get money. They won't win the prize, but it's like, they could still date. They could still be in love after the show. But if it was a dating show where, okay, well, if you want to go on this date with me, you have to do this. It's like, nope. Then you really are not doing it for love. You don't win love. So I don't understand how this is. I don't know.
I'm also confused. Wait, they've got like, they're doing concerts mid competition.
I think it's just the soundtrack is going to be classic hits.
Oh,
can we
okay.
name? I mean, maybe I'm just not a Meatloaf fan. Can we name another Meatloaf song besides "I'll Do Anything for Love, but I Won't Do That"?
There is
some. I just don't know.
There's a lot. There's actually a lot of famous ones he's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love.
Without looking, that's the whole.
No, I'm gonna do it.
you know.
Yes.
Paradise by the dashboard light. You know
Oh,
that.
that's it. Oh, okay.
That's Meatloaf.
Bad out of hell. Okay. Music has them in the chat. It's just before my
Bad
time.
out of hell. Yeah.
Yeah. But here's a statement from the creators. They said, quote, "For the most part, we want to create shows that are funny, clever, and buzzworthy, but 2 out of the 3 ain't bad." And then Meatloaf responded, "You took the words right out of my mouth." What does that mean?
There's another
You
2
wanna-
songs.
That's another
that's
song?
another one?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, that's another song.
2 out of 3 ain't bad, and took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah, that's 2 more of his songs.
All right. I was going to say, like, what kind of statement is this? Oh, we want to make a show that was funny, clever, and buzzworthy. Well, I guess, is buzzworthy the one that they left out? I don't know if this is really getting the buzz.
We're talking about it, though.
I guess we are, but I don't know if anyone else is. Clever? I don't know. We're already poking holes in the theory, so I don't know which one. It might be 0 of the 3 ain't bad, but I don't know. The team is still looking for a home for the series, but the creators do have shows at Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon, so we might be able to see it at one of these other things that they have partnerships.
Yeah,
with.
it was like there's only 8,000 streaming services that they could, go
to.
on.
Yeah. All right, let's see here. We have another one, and we're going to continue back in time with this in an point, or should I say, back in time, because Fox has landed an hour-long anthology series from the 1980s music star Huey Lewis of Huey Lewis and the News. You see what I did there?
I see what you did there.
Should we
I don't
replace
think
me with the song now, John? Was I in tune with that?
I'll pull it for next week. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, Huey Lewis anthology series. Before I explain it, what do you think this could possibly mean? A Huey Lewis anthology series.
Anthologies? Is he going through rock or something? And like, I don't know.
Or
I
like
don't
an
know.
album, something to do with his
Yeah.
albums,
Hmm.
or it's like his album titles or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, he's what is he trying to figure out if the heart of rock and roll is still beating and looking for the. I don't know. No. Each season will be a self-contained romantic comedy inspired by the music of the beloved pop star. Now it's unclear if each season is going to be a different artist, but season one will at least interweave a present-day love story with a teen rom-com set in 1986. It's going to be an homage to the great rom-coms of the 80s and 90s, and a reminder that the power of love is indeed a curious thing.
Oh my
So
god!
is this gonna be like, what was that Beatles one that was set to all the Beatles songs, or We Will Rock You, the Queen stage show? Is it gonna be like that, where it's just like a story that's told by the music, and every song is
Maybe.
like kind of shoehorned into a, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Is it like that, or is it gonna be a bit looser?
great question. Yeah, great question. I don't know if I don't know. There's literally not much even from this article where I can't tell if it's like this anthology series is each season's going to be a different artist, because that could be kind of cool. Okay, Huey Lewis is this season. Next season, it's Beyonce. It's like whatever. You just pick a different artist, from all these different decades and genres, and just mix it up. But yeah, I don't know if it's just going to be, we're set in the 80s and 90s. It's going to be Marty McFly, Jennifer Parker kind of love story, and then they're going to play Power of Love and
Yeah, I have
time in the background.
I have an early hot take on this, because this is how I feel about Huey Lewis.
Yeah,
Is like I like that music,
yeah.
but I can admit that it is corny as hell, and this could be corny as hell, or it could be interesting, but I just think it has the potential to be just super like corny, almost like Full House-esque, but we're just like too old for like that young Full House feel, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I always remember this line. I don't know why it stayed with me, but the VH1 shows, they did one. Of course, I love the 80s, and they had the Huey Lewis one, and like they mentioned how like in the heart of rock and roll, it's just him listing towns, and it's just like L.A., San Antonio. It's just like listing them. It's like, okay, cool, like, but it's nothing to do with the, I heard my town. I like this song now. It's just like. But yeah, it is pretty corny, but no, obviously I'm a fan, at least a couple of those songs, right, John, from our Back to the Future soundtrack. But
there's some great songs on there.
Yeah.
I mean, Patrick Bateman took a sledgehammer to somebody's head, didn't he? Talking about, or is that Phil Collins?
I don't know.
You remember in American Psycho?
Yeah, American Psycho. I'm trying to remember what song it was. I remember I saw that movie when I was 12 at a sleepover, and it haunted me to this day.
I would think he was talking about the Sports album by Huey Lewis and the News, and he was like, some people say, well, but I say, and then
the first thing that come up is, do you like Huey Lewis and the News? And then it's American Psycho, Hip to Be Square. So that could be the song that we get.
Okay.
Be Square.
Yeah.
But all right. I'm be interested to check it out. The creator has an interesting resume. They created Heart of Dixie, but they also worked on Mrs. America and The Handmaid's Tale for Hulu. So it has some prestige television in there. Fox has landed this series with a script to series commitment, so they at least have to, I think, produce something. So we'll see when that does come around. But all right, one more show to talk about, kind of in the FX Fox family. Ryan Murphy's longtime FX series American Horror Story. They're doing something unique for a future season. On Twitter, Ryan Murphy teased that the quote universe is expanding, and he launched a social media poll to help determine which idea fans are most interested in seeing this series explore. So he has a list of different genres, different horror stories, Let's talk about some of these first options he put on this poll. Aliens, Xmas horror, which is Christmas horror. I don't know why he just didn't write it out, but Christmas horror, Bloody Mary, Sirens, Piggy Man, and the Plague.
I don't know some of those. What? Piggy Man?
Piggy
That's
Man.
just a man with a pig on his head.
I mean, that's the Seinfeld episode again. There's the guy at the hospital at Kramer's. It's a pig man.
You gotta pull up the podcast,
Oh yeah,
man.
okay. Pig
We're
face.
streaming
man.
it live. You could take a look.
Yeah.
But
So, time out. There was one other one. Xmas. What?
Xmas horror, which is Christmas horror, but I don't know what that
It's
means.
just
Horror.
Holding a bloody
Horror.
knife. Horror.
Okay.
the genre.
I thought you were
Christmas horrors.
Yeah, I was like, what are those?
I don't know.
That's the difference here.
I don't know what either of those are. Yeah, is Santa Claus the bad guy in this and
Well, don't they
coming
have
down
that-
someone's chimney with a knife? I don't know.
Isn't there like an old German tale about
Oh, Saint Nicholas, I think. With because I remember for some reason we celebrated some kind of holiday in the early December, and I could be making this up, but at least this is what my parents told me. You put out your shoes, and they would fill it with candy and different toys and stuff like that. But if you were bad, supposedly they would take you in a sack and bring you.
Krampus.
Is that what I'm thinking of?
Krampus, yeah.
I think it's Krampus. Yeah.
So I was terrified that in the middle of the night I was going to be taken and brought off across the ocean for being a bad kid.
Oh
If you're
my
good, you get
God.
rewarded. If you're bad, you die.
Mystics, Christmas horror makes me think of Ernest Saves Christmas. That also could be what they're referring to for a horror story.
I like Plague and Alien.
Plague,
to be
yeah.
honest. Those would be the two I would vote for.
Yeah, I
if
would've-
I got
I-
two choices.
Yeah.
I kind of just want to see Piggy Man. I'm just curious about Piggy Man, but
I mean, I feel like
Piggy
Piggy
Man.
Man, Christmas horror, and Bloody Mary are just the same thing with a different texture.
how
you know
is
what I mean?
Piggy Man
Well-
Christmas horror?
No, I'm just saying, like, it's Christmas themed horror. Like, Santa's gonna kill somebody,
Oh,
and then you move
okay.
it to Piggy Man. Piggy Man's gonna kill somebody.
Mm.
You know, like, I don't know.
The
Maybe,
plague
maybe
is going to
not.
kill somebody. I'm sure these aliens
Sure.
are going to kill somebody.
Sure.
What's the deal
Aliens
with?
could just probe you. They let you go afterward.
Oh God. What's the deal with Bloody Mary again? What's that? Old
Don't say it
tale?
three more.
Oh.
Don't say it two more times, Kyler. We're in it.
I think
There's
you
a
gotta
mirror.
spin
Is that
in
a
the
mirror behind you?
Yeah, there's a mirror
Yeah.
behind him.
But time out. Like how? This is what I couldn't like about those old tales. What is the time limit? When can I say it again? If I say it ever in my life, like what is the
Until
deciding?
you leave the
line?
mirror behind you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
I'm worried though,
God.
John. 'Cause, yeah, I was going to say, because I've said it at least once tonight, and I have to say it at least two more times with the future
You have a mirror
points
somewhere?
of this. Oh, I don't know. I'm scared. But they did get it down to the final two on April 9th, and it got down to Bloody Mary, that's twice, and the Plague. So those are the final two here. But then Ryan Murphy was like, "Oh wait, April 13th, we're going to do a recount because you demanded it. You demanded a recount." But it's like, what? Why?
He didn't like it. He didn't
Yeah.
like it at all. This is all fake, man. He's
'Cause
like,
it's-
I'm already in pre-prod. This is just
Yeah.
a fake thing.
That's what I'm like wondering with this. Is like, okay, they have like 6 stories, and it's like, okay, we have the winner or the one we want, so we'll say this is the one you want, because there's no like Twitter poll. It's just all based on hashtags. So
Oh
it's
my
like-
God. Yeah,
So-
this is all just publicity, and they're gonna
Stop
do
the
it
steal.
on. Yeah, they're gonna do it on whatever they've already been cooking up for, however long they've been
Yeah.
doing it.
But yeah,
That's
so
insane.
so yeah, they did a recount. I believe Bloody Mary and Sirens are the now the new final two. The Plague is out.
Sirens.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. You know,
Those
like
are
the
the mermaids that live in the water
Yeah.
and they sing and entrance you, and that pulls you in. You get entranced by them, and you end up wanting to go like in the water with them, and they
Oh
drown you, I guess.
God. Well,
they're supposed
I
to be,
already,
like, very
I already
beautiful.
did that, and I came back out alive. Let me tell you, it was a great time. Okay, so if Ryan Murphy wants my life rights, let's do it.
But yeah, do we even want the plague? I mean, we're in the plague. We're in a pandemic.
Yeah.
We don't need this right now. Pass. But There was a reply on this Twitter thread. The first reply on it was, quote, "Why can't Bloody Mary be a siren? Mary, a siren who wanted to be a human, made a deal with a witch, but the humans tortured her, starting the Bloody Mary, mythology. It's like a twisted version of Little Mermaid." And I was thinking, man, I almost replied back, don't give this out for free. Like the writers are going to steal this. This is a great idea, Twitter user. But
yeah,
it's interesting because there's no word if this is actually like part of the 10th season of the show, or if it's going to be like an episode or a season of. They have like this spin-off anthology series now called American Horror Stories. So there's a whole other spin-off anthology series. So watch this new anthology series. There's going to be 6 episodes: aliens, Christmas horror, Bloody Mary, sirens. And it's just going to be great news, guys. We're not going to do these for season 10. We're going to do it for all of them for American Horror Stories. But
yeah. Because how much? I mean, it sounds like actually with what that Twitter user put, a lot of detail that could go into this. Because I was like, how long could you actually do Bloody Mary? I mean, I wouldn't even know where to go with that.
You got to do the origin story. It's like it's Ratchet. It's the Joker. We got to see the beginnings of, Mary being born and how she became. Okay. All right. That is it for In and Out Points. We have 2 new series to talk about. In order to talk about them, we have to go back. So, guys, Huey Lewis, send us back.
Back in time. I'm back, baby.
Gotta get back in time.
All right.
How do you like that for timing, huh?
Nice.
Right. Will that be in the anthology series? I hope in one of the episodes we just hear, "I'm back, baby."
I am glad you've never done this and just soloed my voice without this and
That's
just
a great
cropped
idea.
it at the end of it. Oh my
to?
God.
That's a great idea.
I
can
probably
do that.
sound horrible.
I'll
Well,
put it at the end of this episode.
John will sometimes, you always have to be careful with John. He will put little clips from our pre-show, little random lines that are pulled out of nowhere, and he'll put it at the end of the episode. You had one last week. I think it was something about the music in our thing and what you would do to that music.
I did? What?
You have to listen to that another time. We have to talk about Made for Love, the series premiere, User 1. Yeah,
Kyle's dying.
Made for Love, User 1, the premiere episode. It dropped actually on April 1st. The full season is actually available now on HBO Max, but we're talking about just the first episode here. And it's based on the 2017 novel of the same name, and it stars Kristen Milotti as a woman who escapes a suffocating 10-year marriage with this tech billionaire. However, she discovers that her husband had fitted her with a high-tech tracking device that can track her location and watch her live. All right, we all saw Made for Love. Let's start off with John. What did you think of the series premiere?
I thought it was interesting. I enjoyed it. Definitely I feeling kind of like the Black Mirror vibes, maybe not as intense, but I like that, and that's something that I kind of wish we had more of. So I'm happy to have something in this same branch that I can watch. I think it was well done, and I wanted to watch more when I was done, but I didn't have time to watch another one and watch the second show, so I only ended up watching one. But yeah, I think we'll dive a little bit deeper into it, but I think it's something that I will probably check out at least one more in the future.
Yeah, I'm with you. I definitely want to watch more of this series. I'm intrigued, and it's interesting because it did remind me of Black Mirror, obviously with the subject matter, but also Kristen Milotti, who was in an episode of Black Mirror. It also reminded me, I don't know if it's just the setting, and again, Kristen Milotti, but reminded me a little bit of Palm Springs. They're out in the desert there, and what's really happening? Oh, she's frantic and, worried and stuff like that. So I definitely saw that comparison. I have a lot of different things to say about this pilot episode, but Kyle, what did you think of the premiere?
I was in from the start. I liked the idea a lot. And I felt like they did a good job of just grabbing onto you right at that front with that narration, that narrated video. I thought that was good. But yeah, I like Kristen Milioti. I think the dude that plays Gogol is like a schmarmy enough character to be good. I just overall, I really like the show. I was really interested, and it's been a while since I've had a show where I immediately was just like, yes, I want to keep
Yeah, I wanna
going.
watch more.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah, I like it a lot.
And I liked in the pilot because I was constantly guessing how and why things are happening. Because I try to stay as far away as possible with any kind of trailer, description, anything of the show. All I knew was the poster, which it looked like she was kind of like glitching out a little bit. It looked like I'm like, oh, is she? I'm like, okay, something feels off. Is she like a robot? Is she an AI that she doesn't know is an AI? But then it's like, well, okay. But in the episode, it's like, oh wait, now we're seeing a flashback as her as a kid, so she's not a robot. And but then it's like, she's flipping off her husband there. But how is the husband knowing that she's doing that? Like, oh, it's some kind of like, so you're constantly like, there's little clues and little things that you're constantly having to pay attention to try to figure out what is going on. And definitely something off because she's like in this compound, this alternate reality, hologram.
They call it the hub.
Yeah, the hub, the Google compound. But there's a scene early on in the episode. She's there's a moment of oral sex, and there is a camera watching every move here, and you're like, well, that's weird. What's going on here? And then later, when she's trying to watch something or play a video game, she's asked to rate the orgasm on a scale of 5 stars and all these different questions. And there's these annoying pop-ups she has to keep going through. And then somebody is coming and like, I think you are lying on question number 4 here. And it's just like, what's the big deal with this survey? Who cares? So there's like, so that's why I was like the whole time, is she, like a robot just to serve him? Like, the CEO tech guy, what's going on? But we get to find out a little bit more that this character, played by, I think, Billy Magnuson, I think, might be getting that wrong, but I really like the actor. He's in like everything, Game Night, Aladdin, Get Shorty. He's always that guy. Oh yeah, that guy. But he's the CEO here, and I guess they're going to be like the first couple under this new program where the bodies may be separate, but the minds will become one. What do you think about this kind of technology, John? Are you going to be signing up for this new
with who?
system? I don't know.
No,
the 3 of us. Why not?
Yeah. I have no plans on doing that at the moment. Put it that way.
Yeah, Kyle. This had all the partners worried. They're like, wait, this is happening. This is real. We're going with this. Like, somebody's gonna blow up. Like,
So we have that backstory of like this technology isn't ready, and this Gogol guy's pushing it. So that opens up that door. Why is he pushing it so hard when it might not be ready? Is there some crack in his life that he's not letting, that Kristen Milioti doesn't know about? Yeah.
Yeah, and I will say I feel like the show just feels like well thought out, well crafted, and I like the idea even that like this whole compound is all fake. Like it's just out in the desert, it's a hologram.
Yeah.
And like to get out of it, she jumps in this pool with all these like electronics around her, and then I think that's when we like see her kind of emerge at the beginning of the episode, which was a like flash forward of her emerging out of this like bunker type thing covered in water. Because that's probably where the pool was in this hologram world. So it's like there's just like a lot of little details that they set up, and that car alarms are going off as she walks, and how he can easily, the CEO here, can easily just call people within the area. I'm tracking you, and it's just like, well, I have everyone's phone data. I'll just call this random person walking by. Hey, I'm the chief, executive here. Go talk to this lady outside for me. I'll give you $1 million or whatever. Like. But
the only thing to think about though, why is he so tied to this woman? I mean, granted, he put a chip in her that made her, they're now linked for life, right? They're feeling the same things or whatever. But if you're the CEO of a huge company, I would imagine that you would be able to find.
But it is also Kristen Milotti. So
But
yeah, I know what
it's
you're saying.
also the CEO of
Yeah.
a major
Yeah.
corporation. So.
And if he has this kind of technology, he can make anybody he wants. And it's kind of like fitting that at the end of the episode, we meet Ray Romano, which is Kristen Milotti's dad,
Oh my God! Yeah.
with his own kind of made for love doll here. But obviously, he doesn't have the money or the tech, and he's caught in a compromising position by his daughter. And I'm excited for that because, like, I think Ray Romano is like, sure, a lot of people can, bag on him back in the day. Oh, it's Ray from that sitcom. Everything I've seen since then, whether it is Get Shorty that also starred Billy, but like his dramatic work in The Big Sick or whatever it is, he has the chops. And Parenthood. So I'm excited to see this kind of relationship between Ray and Kristen Milotti. But yeah, I do want to talk a little bit about Gogol and how close it is to Google, because how are they getting away with this? How are they like? It's just there's no kidding around.
I mean, yeah, I know. Like I said, I've met somebody with the last name Gogol before, but yeah, it's clear what they're going for. I mean, but I guess if you were sued, you could say we're making a caricature of any CEO. Like they could say Jeff Bezos, or any of those. But because the name is so close. What if it was just like, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but what if it was like Amazon instead of Amazon, like Amazon? Would that be too close?
I think there could be some kind of like case. I don't know. It's just like crazy because like, especially how close it is. And obviously with all the tech, and they're having their own, like, I had to turn off my Google Home being in the room because I didn't want it to go off, but like they have like the like that little home device that they have, watching and spying on the rooms and stuff. And I also want to just bring up what is with this like rooster. What's this like symbol?
It's
that does not look
right?
sleek. That does not look cool.
No.
It does not look high tech.
No.
That's the one thing I was like, my nitpick. Like everything looks so like sleek and futuristic, and like I like the TVs just kind of appearing when you put in your ear pod and just seeing it. But like then we're seeing like this rooster like paperweight, and it's just like, what? No, like, cause like, I think this definitely looks more sleek than
Yeah, I wonder if like you said, it's supposed to symbolize something that we don't know yet or don't have all the details yet.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I'm definitely wanting to check out more. I wanted to watch more, but I want to just do the one for the podcast, and then like, cause I didn't want to like theorize different stuff.
Yeah,
and then kind of screw it up, but.
Yeah, it was just like John too. I wanted to watch more, but then didn't have enough time. So yeah.
All right, so I think we're all in. Maybe we'll talk about it a little bit later when we finish it, because it's all available right now. They did like a weird release strategy where it was like 3-3-2 for all the episodes over 3 weeks.
I wonder if it thematically has breaking points at those points. Maybe. You know what I mean? Where maybe it made sense to do it. I don't know.
Maybe. Our other show is also on HBO Max because it's an HBO series. It's Mare of Easttown. We're going to talk about the series premiere. It dropped just 2 days ago on April 18th. Miss Lady Hawk herself was the episode title, and Kate Winslet stars as a detective in a small Pennsylvania town who investigates a local murder while also trying to keep her own life from falling apart. All right, let's start off with Kyle. What do you think of Mare of Easttown?
I just thought it was okay. I'm really kind of trying to think about. I feel like it's doing the thing that we talked about a lot of other series doing, which you had a complaint about with the Affair. If I can't remember the name, but anyways, so what I think is that they just are holding over with this tidbit of a clue, a tidbit, a little crumb, a little crumb to get you to minute 53 of watching this thing. Because about minute 36, I pause this and I go, what have we done? because there wasn't much going on. I know they were building characters. I know they're trying to give Kate Winslet this other role that she's not used to playing, this kind of like rebel role, but like, you know, I just don't know if the tiny crumb is going to be enough for me, because especially with how they ended it, it's like, this is what they did with the Nicole Kidman,
The Undoing.
The Undoing. I call it The Affair. Sorry, The Undoing. So this is what they did with that, and that was your chief complaint, Dave, about that show, was like, you're just leaving us a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely has the tropes of those kind of shows, whether it's The Undoing, whether it's like, is this year's like Sharp Objects, you know, the A-list star in this small town, and it's a cold color palette, and you got the string instruments, and it's just like, oh, let's all get ready to, let's be depressed. This is just what this is. But that being said, you know, I did feel like, you know, I was, you know, I'm set in this world, the clothes, the color palette, the production design of the small town. It's like, I feel like I know this town. I feel like I know these characters. So I think they did a great job setting everything up. I think I'm maybe a little more in than you. Maybe it's just a dearth of stuff being on right now, whether it's the caliber of people involved, whether it's like, you know, Guy Pearce and Kate Winslet and just the rest of the cast. But I am also hesitant at the same time, where it's just like, a lot of this is on the ending. Are they going to nail this ending? Are they going to solve this mystery? Are they going to, all the things that they set up here, is it all going to be emotionally and, you know, everything to pay off at the end? That's where I always get a little worried. But
well, before John goes, I just want to say, I did come down. Yeah. It sounds like I'm coming down harsh. I enjoyed it. I just thought it was okay, because I felt like in the beginning they're hitting all of like the detective beats. Like we're building up this character, and it's hitting all those same tropes, as you called. So I was just like, I just want there to be more, considering, you know, Kate Winslet and everything.
Yeah. So John, what did you think of Mare of Easttown?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much in agreement with you guys. I thought that it was kind of for most of it, and I think the ending kind of picked up and made me be like, oh, all right. I
could crumb at the end.
I can see where it's going and how it's going to form something a bit more compelling than what I've seen, but you're only giving that to me in the last minute. Why? You know, I don't know. I would consider maybe checking out one more. I would also consider waiting and seeing what the reviews are for. You know, I'm not sure. I'm torn.
Yeah.
Can I just talk about one of my favorite moments?
What is it?
It's just like nothing was happening, right? Everything seems like even keeled. They're trying to build up Kate Winslet as the mother of the town. You know, what was her name? Lady Hawk. She is the Lady Hawk of the town, right? And we just get Freddie, I think the guy was like stole the merchandise, right? And then his sister out of nowhere just just comes in and socks him. It was like, what? This came out of absolutely nowhere.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna bring up the action scene of Kate Winslet trying to jump the fence and then like hurts her leg.
That was horrible. Yeah.
But I will say I kind of like that, because it's like, I feel like realistic action.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me, but like a couple years ago I went down the stairs, you know, broke my ankle, and it's just like, you know, this is real stuff here. Like when somebody jumps a fence, they're gonna hurt themselves a little bit. This isn't Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. This is like real life. So I kind of like how she kept having to limp throughout the whole time, because it's like, we're getting old, and that's just, you know, Liam Neeson would be in quite a bit of pain if he actually did what he really did in those movies. But I like
that back. He would definitely save everyone.
But I do like how like everyone like kind of just knows her in the town. They all call her Mare, but you know, it's all the first name. The old lady calls her before they actually call the police number. She knows the usual suspects. Like, it's just, she's always lived in this town. She's this like high school sports hero, and they set that up really well. And in the pilot, there was a lot of me also guessing, kind of like in the last show, how this would all connect, because there was a lot of stuff that they set up. There's a lot of missing parents and separated families, and Kate Winslet has a daughter and then also a grandson whose dad at least seems dead. We see like her like looking off and just seeing this person appear and then disappear in the room. And we have this young mother, Erin, who's separated from her baby's father. And then Kate Winslet's ex, Roy from The Office, is next door and also now engaged. And it's just like, there's a lot of separation. There's a lot of people together, families apart. And at first I thought that there was almost two timelines in this show, and that the young mother, Erin, would somehow be the young girl that's been missing for the last year.
Yeah, I thought that too.
And it turns out it's present day. It's another possible victim of maybe of the same person. We don't know, but I guess Caitlin Winslet's daughter at least kind of connects that story a little bit, saves Erin from the kind of these bullies beating her up. But well, it doesn't end well for Erin. And man, Erin had a rough episode.
Yeah.
They were so mean to Erin. I don't understand.
I know.
I don't understand why. She's just trying to stop, her kid from having ear infections and hearing loss. And you got the baby's father who's texting her on the side. Is that who was texting her, or was that somebody else playing with her?
I think it was the girlfriend of her kid's father who was trying to get back at her for.
But Erin thought it was the guy,
some hot guy.
Yeah. Because then they meet up at the end, and the new girlfriend starts beating up Erin, and meanwhile Erin's dad burns his mouth on the mac and cheese that the daughter made, and I just was like, I'm like, dude, do you not see the steam? Like, this is what, little kids do. Oh, it's too hot. It's like, yeah, maybe test it a little bit. Maybe see the steam, blow on it. Like, come on, man.
No, man. His dinner's got to be ready or he's going to beat someone.
But yeah. Another kind of just dumb little nitpick I have. When Kate Winslet is entering the house with the other cop, and the suspect she was looking for, I think, hurt his hand on the fence. It was bleeding a little bit, and that one cop is just, I can't stand blood.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, dude, there's like a trinkle. There's like the smallest amount of drip on the thing, and you're over that. Get off the force, because if you can't see a molecule of blood, then get out of here. Like, you're not gonna make it.
Yeah, and that might be like foreshadowing to Kate Winslet having to see the crime scene of the later child, but
because it does end with Erin dying. Looks like she's left in like a creek with a head wound. We don't know yet who it is, but it definitely is clear that this is the case that Kate Winslet's character is going to have to deal with. She also has the girl that's been missing for the past year, who turns out to be the daughter of one of her classmates that was on the basketball team. So we had this kind of awkward encounter at this 25-year anniversary at the basketball game. But there's something I like with the show, that because again it's about details and then planning, and I didn't notice this at first, but my girlfriend picked it up that Erin, who's in the creek at the end, is upside down exactly like we see her when she's first introduced in the bed, where she's laying upside down talking to her baby son there. So I don't know what that means, but it's interesting how she was introduced and kind of said goodbye to in the exact same pose.
Wow, that's crazy that she picked that up. That's wild.
So I don't know. So yeah, that's the first episode. Are we gonna keep going? Sounds like John may wait a little bit to see how it goes. Kyle, you gonna watch any more, you think?
I might wait to hear from you and ask you how it's going, and then go from there. Because I think it's a well done show. Like, I think it's well produced. I think it has all of those things. But the story, I don't know if I'm fully into it yet. So if I hear good things from you, maybe I'll keep watching. I also want to say another good moment, or moment that I remember from the episode. and that was when they're doing their making their Lady Hawk known in the story world, right? And they're trying to make her like this kind of like a boss bitch kind of thing, right? And then at the bar in the background, we hear like Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill album playing, and it's like, all right, we get it. She's a badass. She's a punk chick.
That would be a good second season of that anthology music series, I think. The Alanis Morissette.
Sure.
Second season. But yeah, I think I'm gonna keep going just because I don't have that much going on right now. Not much to watch. I'll throw this one in Sunday nights. I need a Sunday night mystery kind of show. But yeah, I'll stick with it for at least a little bit more. Again, I'm always worried that it's gonna dive into it because I was not a fan of Sharp Objects, but I enjoyed the shorter run and the absurdity of The Undoing. So if it kind of meets somewhere in the middle, maybe I'll be okay. But
I actually like Sharp Objects, so
yeah,
I mean, you'll have to let me know about this one.
All right. Well, that's it for this week. Next week, we have two main things to talk about. We're going to break down the results of the Oscars. The Oscars would have taken place. We'll know the winners. We'll know how the prediction bet went. We'll break it all down. And then we're going to talk about a Peacock series called Rutherford Falls, starring Ed Helms. I believe it's created by Mike Schur. So we'll check out that series. And then speaking of the Oscars, don't forget to check out our 10th annual prediction special with The Good, Bad, and Watchable. We had them on last week. And at this point, you'll be able to print out a ballot. That's on our kind of social media pages. We also have extra predictions. I released one yesterday. Got another one coming. These are only on social media. So if you want these extra predictions, a little extra show, it's not going to be in your podcast feed. It's going to be on social media like Twitter and Instagram at Dual Redundancy. I will say, Kyle, I'm a little worried about a couple of them. I don't know if I'm just in my head right now.
I think you are, dude.
Yeah, there's some that are still locks, but I will say, here's my two thoughts.
Okay.
There's been other guilds recently that have been picking up, they've been announcing their winners. So that kind of points things in a little different direction. Film editing might go in a little different direction. I think the editors picked Trial of Chicago 7 for their editing. And the one film I think could be a surprise of the night is maybe a little bit more love for The Father than we're expecting.
That's fair. I mean,
so that's why I like looking back, I think I mentioned it on last week's show. I'm like, if I had to redo any dark horses, whether it's best actor or best screenplay, I would maybe put The Father now in. I still think it's Chadwick. I still think Nomadland, but there's I think some growing love for that movie.
Wow.
So we'll see. If it comes down to that, we're watching Hillbilly Elegy. So
oh no,
John is as well. So he's a part of this. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll wait and see. We'll talk about it next week. You can find episodes of the podcast on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, the blog, doredundancy.com, and of course, live Tuesday nights on Twitch, twitch.tv/doredundancy. And make sure you're following us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. That's all we got. I want to thank both you guys for joining us tonight. And of course, for John directing the show, getting the episode up on iTunes. Couldn't do it without you guys.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
All right. Until next time, I'm David Allen.
I'm John Berwick.
And I'm Kyle Bridger.
And that's all we got for Dual Redundancy. Goodbye, everybody.